You'll never win this game, Yugi boy. That's where you're wrong, Kaiba. I took my grandfather's advice and believe in the heart of the cards. And it's time to duel!
And welcome back to another episode of Crypts and Corks. I'm your host DJ, and I put the sex into Sex Den along with my co-host
Paul, the original Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Oh Jesus!
As usual. And here we are.
I should have seen that coming. I don't know why I didn't see that coming.
Here we are on a very special themed episode of Crypts and Corks.
A themed episode that I wasn't told about beforehand.
You knew this was going to be the Japanese episode.
I knew it was going to be Japanese. I didn't know it was Pokemon.
Well, see, so here's the good old backstory. My brother, shout out, Jesse, thank you so much for everything. My good old brother just got back from Japan, and he got me so many cool Pokemon things. So I had to do a Japan-themed episode in honor of all the cool stuff. I mean, this Pokemon shirt straight from Japan, like, so cool. We got this Eevee. I mean, we even got a little Jeremy. You can't really see it that well, but it's like, so Jeremy, we got a little Jeremy. Like, he thought to get us a little Jeremy, which is the mascot of our podcast, which is insane. He found a tiny little Jeremy in Japan.
Same exact coloring and everything.
Insane. I have all this authentic stuff from Japan, so, like, we had to do a Japanese episode. Like, and just honor the culture and just, like, Pokemon. And, like, I grew up an anime nerd. Like, oh my gosh. Like, it's just so tea. What was your relationship with anime? And
I watched it occasionally.
Were you a Pokemon girl? Were you up in the gig? Were you a Yu-Gi-Oh girl? Were you doing anything of that nature?
I watched Avatar: The Last Airbender. I know that's not really anime, but, like, that's probably the closest.
Canceled.
I would occasionally watch Pokemon.
Oh my gosh, we had such very different childhoods. I spent so much time. I read books.
Paul sat on the sofa watching TV. I climbed trees. Paul sat on the sofa watching TV. I rode bikes. Paul sat on the sofa.
I'd like to think... Well, no, I know. I probably spent a lot more time outside than you did. I spent a good amount of time outside in those fucking woods.
I spent a lot of time outside, too. When it was summertime, every day, all day, outside.
Same, me and my little friends, our little friends in the neighborhood. We were out playing in the creek. We were playing Survivor in the woods. We were up in the gig, okay?
Playing Survivor in the woods, that explains so much about who you are as a person now.
Yeah, us playing Survivor in the woods was just us walking through the woods and, like, surviving, but we were just talking shit. Me and my homegirls, I won't shout out their names on the pod in case they don't, like, want me to, but, like, my two little homegirls from my old neighborhood, always up in the woods, always doing the thing. We had our my friend had the four-wheeler. Like, I spent a lot of time outside, but also spent a fair amount of time inside playing Pokemon, watching Yu-Gi-Oh!, spent a lot of time on the Nintendo DS, clocked a lot of hours playing Pokemon on the DS, fought over Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards with my brother a ton. If one of us got a better card, we would, like, fight each other for it. Like, speaking of which, my brother got me this awesome Japanese authentic Blue Eyes White Dragon card. I'll show the camera. Authentic, straight from Japan, the homeland. So all you other whores out here with non-authentic Yu-Gi-Oh cards can eat my ass.
Fun fact, Paul once tried to give himself the nickname of Blue Eyes White Dragon in high school.
It was college. And did it stick? No. And was it embarrassing? And still embarrassing to this day, yes.
Yeah, because it was college.
Yeah, I don't even know what I was thinking. I was thinking, okay, I have blue eyes, Yu-Gi-Oh! Blue Eyes White Dragon. Yeah, it didn't stick. No, not once. Not one person called me that. And that's okay, you know? They just called me, fag. So that was fine. You know, accuracy.
Your
biblically
friends
accurate.
still to this day call you by that nickname.
I know. It's great. It's crazy. Some things just stick with you through life. Isn't that crazy? Well, but do you have anything you want to add? Any rants or anything before we get into today's
I'm
alcohol?
interested in what's going on here.
Okay. So for today's alcohol, my brother also got me this straight from Japan. I can't read it because it's in Japanese because Japan.
Do we even know what it is?
We don't know, but my mom did warn me that he might have bought this off a woman on the street. So we might get sick. So it's just a risk we're going to be willing to take.
It's sealed, yes.
Yeah, it looks sealed. But again, it might have been bought by a woman on the street.
Is it sake or what is it?
We don't know. I guess it's going to be a mystery. It's going to be fun.
Okay.
So let's give her an open and see what the fuck this is.
Okay.
And again, all the labels are in Japanese, so we don't know. So we're going to see. It's part of the fun. It's like opening a mystery box. It didn't crack. It smells like sake. I'm pretty sure this is sake.
It didn't crack?
It did not crack.
Like it was open before it didn't crack? Or you kind of scared me with that.
Oh, no, it did crack. Oh, there was a crack, when I
okay,
opened it.
okay.
ASMR pour number 1. And we're going to be careful in case it is sake, because sake is a very, very strong alcohol. So, ASMR pour number 2. Okay. Welp to the land of the rising sun. Oh.
Okay. Yeah, that's sake, but it's not...
That's one of the better sakes I've had, actually.
It's not that terrible one that I got from
Wine
and Spirits when we did the Kutsune.
Yeah, that's actually a really good sake. As far as... Because I'm not a big fan of sake. I'm really not a big fan of sake. But as far as sakes go... As far as sakes, 4 grapes, but in general, 2.5, 3 grapes.
I'm giving it 3 because I don't particularly like sake.
Yeah.
But it is better than the last one. So I don't like it, so it loses 2 points, but it does gain 2 points.
Mm-hmm. For authenticity.
Yeah.
Straight from Japan. Thank you again. And also, thank you to my brother
Jesse.
And his girlfriend. We won't name her name in case she doesn't want to be named on the pod. But thank you guys so much. Sake. Best sake. A lot better than the sakes they have in the restaurants over here for sure. And yeah, awesome. 4 grape. Anything to add before we dive right in?
Stick to your man.
Let's dive right in. The 3 Musketeers.
Oh, jeez.
The Witches from Charmed. Ed, Edd, and Eddy. Buffy, Xander, and Willow. Ash, Misty, and Brock. DJ, Alcohol, and Grinder. What do all these things have in common? They are famous trios. But unlike today's story of 3, those trios all bring forth good in the world. Well, except for DJ, being drunk on Grindr. But in today's episode, we're going to discuss the 3 vengeful spirits of Japan, spirits who brought forth death, plagues, and curses upon the people of Japan. So grab your passports and travel with us to the land of the rising sun to discuss this vengeful trio.
And you know what? I hope your entire butthole falls out your ass.
Oh, for the drunk read. Well, one thing about DJ, you get a sip of alcohol and just one sip.
It's not one sip. It's not one sip. It's not till the end of the night. I am at least 6 drinks deep. I am shots up to my knee. Gone.
He's definitely the you up text you get at 3 a.m.
And you know what? Last weekend, I could have abandoned you laying on the floor expecting Taco Bell and Papa John's. I could have just left you laying there.
But you didn't.
And like just
Friendship.
been like, just fuck you. Like, your Papa John's and your Taco Bell can sit out there all night long for the raccoons.
Oh, I would have made it out there eventually. No, I would have made it out there eventually.
You would have crawled. Paul, you were at the point of crawling because you didn't get off the couch. You literally crawled hands first.
Sometimes you're just at the amount of drug that you just need floor time, and it is what it is, okay?
Paul was just a great supine protoplasmic invertebrate.
That was a lot of words I'm not sure of, but we're gonna somewhat agree until I find out the definition of most of those words.
It means spineless.
Okay, let me... So, today's sources are uncannyjapan.com and morethan.tokyo.com. Now, do you know anything about the 3 vengeful spirits of Japan?
No.
No? Okay.
Ooh. Sorry.
I had a little burn. A little,
it's giving me a little
bop
heartburn.
to it. A little bop to it. Well, let's dive right in then. So let's start with the first of our 3 vengeful spirits. Taira no Masakado. Taira no Masakado was a samurai who was leading an uprising against the current government at the time. Some sources say this was due to anger that he didn't get a high government post that he thought he deserved. Other sources say it was because of a woman, and others say it was over land. 3 things which most disputes are over, you know.
Yeah, except I would not go to war over a woman.
No.
A man, maybe. He's got to be a special man, though.
It would have to be a special man like that. I'm not sure what team he'd be playing on, but there is this very, very attractive man who I think he's on Sweden's team. He's this blonde soccer player, and dear God, oh my God, could he get it? He is so attractive. Now, while DJ's looking that up, but either way, the Emperor Sasaku, took notice when he captured the governor of the Hitachi province and captured different territories in the region and proclaimed himself the new emperor, the emperor's new group, if you will. So, a bounty was put on Masakado's head and an army was sent after him. The emperor's army arrived and battled Masakado's samurai, and surprisingly, Masakado's samurai won the first battle with Emperor Sasaku's army. But the tides changed on the second battle. And it was in the second battle Masakado found himself with a tiny bit of a headache, if you will.
Yeah?
Yeah. See, his horse lost its footing, and in that moment, Masakado was distracted long enough for an arrow to go straight through his forehead, killing him instantly.
That's how I want you to go.
Oh, thank you. Quick and painless. That's very sweet, thank you.
Yeah, and I mean, it's going to be real easy to, take you for your funeral because just grab that arrow and drag. I mean, you're a little heavy, but...
Right, and for the archer, I have such a big forehead because of my hairline, right?
Yeah.
It's almost a target you can't miss.
One thing about Paul I love is that he has a projector, a movie projector in his house. And if he doesn't want to see the movie, we don't need a screen and we don't need to move any furniture because all of his walls either have windows or things hanging on it. We can just use his forehead.
Exactly. And these are all things you can do with a receding hairline like me. It's kind of a blessing in some senses.
Yeah. Now, what about your tiny hands?
Tiny hands?
Your less than average sized hands, your baby hands, if you will.
Makes for good hand jobs. Makes the dick look big. Give them
Does
confidence.
it?
Yeah.
Because I've always thought you kind of look like Denise from SNL.
Right. Yeah.
Between the forehead and the tiny hands.
Well, I guess it's kind of better than them thinking they're getting a hand job from Wolfman when you give them hand jobs because of how ungodly hairy yours are.
My hands are
Jesus
not
Christ.
hairy. Leave me alone.
Well, if you can't take the heat.
I'm sorry, that was very hypocritical that I just really made fun of you. And then you said I had hairy hands and I go, leave me alone.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's that same baby voice that reminds... Well, actually, never mind.
It's that same baby voice that he thinks of when he thinks of his last lover. That he stole from a cradle.
My last lover was literally older than me. You know I go after older guys.
That's not what I read in the Epstein files.
Girl, if anyone's in the Epstein files, it's your bitch ass with your ties to the whole royal family and all those pedophiles.
Fuck you. And fuck your chicken strips.
Now, He did get killed by the archer, but the archer was actually his cousin, right? So he was killed by his cousin, but it was kind of revenge because he killed the cousin's father. So, like, it was kind of like family killing family, tit for tat, tomato, tomato type thing.
Tits!
Yeah, tits. So, Masakato's head was severed and taken back to be displayed in Kyoto, the capital city, as a warning to all those who might be thinking about uprising.
Interesting.
Emperor Suzaku also denied Masakato a proper Buddhist funeral and memorial, basically condemning his spirit to wander Earth restlessly for all eternity. And we all know how restless spirits are. The strange reports started happening quite quickly, with some people reporting seeing Masakato's eyes open and close on his headless body. Ooh. Some even reported hearing the head groan, searching for his body. And I meant to say bodiless head, not headless body. Or is that what I meant?
I get your meaning.
Yeah.
Just to be rational here. Isn't there something to be said about the decomposition process and the gases that formulate and then release from the body as the tissue and whatnot break down that could cause the moaning, which is actually just the escape of gas, or the eyelids opening and closing from the shriveling of the tissue?
Well, I feel like that's more in the stomach and intestines, right?
Definitely more than that, but just like
not so much.
I mean,
the
this
head,
story is like from long time ago, so we don't know, and not to like ruin a perfectly good story, but just like because as a paranormal investigator, these are the things you have to look at.
Right. See, what I picture is his head, like, heckling people on the street, like, you call that a kimono? More like a kimono don't. Ha ha! Kind of like those two, on the Muppets, it's those two old guys that always heckle people.
You call that a kimono? I call that a kimono. You got dressed in the dark.
Exactly. Just like the worst humor you've ever heard. And just...
or if he was, where's my body?
Either one. Yeah. Either one's very accurate, yes. Oh my gosh. Eventually, the head was taken to a small fishing village called Shibazaki, which would eventually become Tokyo, and buried at a Kanda shrine. There are stories of his head starting to glow and it flying to Tokyo itself.
Ooh.
Now, on the way... So in those stories, actually, with the head glowing and it, like, going to Tokyo itself, it's said that his head was spreading plague and disaster on its way to Tokyo, or I forget the first word.
Kind of like you when you go to the bathhouse. You just spread plague and disaster in your wake.
Tell your friends. Tell them to watch out. Now, the locals were worried about his spirit becoming restless and vengeful, so they inscribed prayers on his grave to keep his spirit at bay. Eventually, the shrine would be taken down and replaced with the Ministry of Finance, and the Ministry of Finance would perform rituals to try and keep Masakato's spirit at bay.
Why wouldn't they leave it alone? Like, they don't want him to be vengeful, so they knock it down and they build the Ministry of... the most boring ministry ever?
You know, that's a very good question, DJ. And
like, he was a samurai. Why not build the Ministry of Defense over top of it?
So, I mean, that's a good point, too.
If you're going to build something over top of it.
I think it was just really good real estate, and they wanted to put government buildings there because, again, this becomes Tokyo. So this becomes a very big city. So real estate is a very valuable thing. So I think they just saw the real estate they wanted, and they were like, fuck that. We're going to do this. Now, they did make the attempt with... like, trying to appease the spirit with the inscribing of the whatever, but...
I really hope if you go to the Ministry of Finance building in Tokyo, like, you're just walking down a hall, and randomly there's just, like, this one part of wall that's just inscribed, like, scribbled with all of these, like, prayers, and it's like, yeah, the samurai spirit, he's, like, real vengeful, so whenever he acts up too much, we add another prayer.
Well, keep that in mind and let me keep telling the story. Then, the Great Kanto earthquake in 1923 caused the Ministry of Finance to burn down, except for Masakato's grave. underground, which was surprisingly intact. So, they needed to rebuild the Ministry of Finance, and with no laws in place to protect historical sites, Masakato's tomb was destroyed to make way for the new Ministry of Finance
Oh
building.
my god. So not only did we knock down the grave marker and build on top of it, but then that building burnt down, which was obviously his doing. But now we're going to disinter him and destroy the grave and build on top of it.
Yep, exactly.
Call-
Exactly.
Dig up a skeleton, throw the pole, and slap my ass and call me the poltergeist.
Jesus Christ. Now, unsurprisingly, it only took about 2 years after for strange things to start happening. 14 people died mysteriously, including the Vice Minister of Finance, and people working in the building even started complaining about pains in their feet, all of which they contributed to Masakato's angered spirit.
Yeah.
It got to be so much that they tore the building down and erected a memorial to Masakato in its place and did many rituals to appease his spirit.
As they should have.
But in 1940, 1,000 years after Masakato's death, a lightning strike caused some buildings of the Ministry of Finance to burn down, so they did more ceremonies to try and appease the spirit. Then, in 1945, the fire bombings in Tokyo destroyed land near Masakato's tomb, but the tomb was left relatively unharmed. Now, when they tried to repair these buildings, they decided to make the tomb a parking lot.
My god. What idiots.
Right, they're just not learning from their mistakes. But Masakato's spirit was not having that and killed a construction worker by causing a bulldozer to flip over, and the project was quickly abandoned.
As it should have been.
Now, some people, some stories, I read different sources, but some sources do say that the construction workers were actually American because the Tokyo firebombing was caused by Americans.
Yeah.
And after, when the war was over and stuff, right, we, helped them rebuild and stuff, as any good country would do. I mean, any good country might not have done it in the first place, but neither here nor there. But some people do say that it was the Americans that were, trying to rebuild and make it a parking lot and whatnot, and they didn't fully understand the lore of what was going on.
Well, this is a great empty block of land. Let's put a parking lot in.
Americans love a good parking lot.
That they do.
So, after this, the local people adopted the gravesite and started bringing flowers to it every day to appease Masakato's spirit to prevent further revenge. Now, people used to leave frog statues there as offerings for Masakato to help people return home safely from their journeys or help return missing people home. See, frog and return home are pronounced the same in Japanese, so that's why they were leaving frogs there, because it's pronounced the same in their language. But they were all moved to another shrine because there were too many and they wanted to keep the site neat and tidy. People are now forbidden from giving them as gifts anymore, but you can still see Masakato's shrine to this day, just with less frogs.
Okay.
Now that things have gotten a little froggy, if you will.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, I'm too good at this. Why don't we move on to Vengeful Spirit number 2, Emperor Sutako. And I did use additional source, yokai.com, for this story. We will start when Sutaku was retired from being emperor. See, he had retired and given the role to someone else because he was convinced by that person and their allies that retired life was much better. So essentially, he could have kept being emperor, but the people around him had, let's say, ill intention, if you will. They wanted the power for themselves and were like, hey girl, why don't you just retire for a bit, you know? Well, not for a bit. Why don't you just retire? You're going to live a much better retired life. It'll be fine. And we know you don't really have sons or anything and no one to pass it on to, so just pass it on over to me. You don't have to worry about these things. Just give it up. Yeah. And he was a dipshit and listened.
Hey, Paul, I know you're tired and, you need a break. Why don't you just, let me take over the podcast by myself for a bit. Like, just retire. You don't have any kids to pass it on to.
See, I would, but you already look so tired. We can't have your looks fade anymore, so I couldn't put all
I
of
walked
that
into
on
that
you.
one. I can't even be mad.
You did walk into that one. But later, the person he passed it on to would die, and he saw an opportunity to regain power and make his own son emperor instead. So, he tried to do this, which resulted in just a little civil war. You know, people don't really like
Just a
giving up
little
power.
one,
It's
yeah.
just a tiny civil war. Sataku was not victorious and was banished to the island of Shikoku, where he would shave his head and spend the rest of his days as a Buddhist monk.
Amen.
He was deep in this Buddhist shit, trying to make amends for the things he had done and the people who died on his behalf. And by that, I mean the people who died in the Civil War because he wanted to regain power and stuff.
Right.
He felt guilty
Yeah,
because
no, I
of
get
that.
it. Yeah.
Then, to try and make peace, he wrote some sutras and sent them back to the capital. It's said that he actually wrote these sutras in his own blood to make them more powerful. Once received, the imperial court rejected these sutras, thinking they were cursed. They didn't even open the sutras to read them. And of course, Sutaku was very offended by this and said, "If it's a curse you want, it's a curse you're going to get."
Woohoo.
Sutaku bit his tongue till it bled and wrote out a curse that turned him into a demon so he could get his revenge. He grew out his hair and nails until he died. Some say he looked more like a goblin than a person. And when Sutaku finally died, he was not given a tomb or proper burial, adding insult to injury.
Oh.
And just 12 years after his death, bad things started happening in the capital. Now, I have to say just 12 years. I think 12 years is kind of a long time. But
Yeah.
I think it is kind of weird that they waited until like 12 years after his death to start like attributing things to his vengeful spirit. But hey, it's not my culture, okay? It's what they're doing, okay? Not my culture, so who am I to say? So, first, the emperor had 4 close allies die in quick succession. Then there was a plot to overthrow the government, and after that, a fire destroyed half the city. All of this was contributed to Emperor Sataku's spirit. From that point on, any unfortunate event was linked to Sataku's ghost. It got so bad that the government actually caved in and gave Sutaku a proper Buddhist funeral, and the appeasing seemed to work. Eventually, Sutaku would be returned to Kyoto and be enshrined as a deity for those who suffer injustices. He is prayed to help people break bad ties, sever negative relationships, and initiate good fortune. Many believe Sutaku's spirit is now at rest, but there's still rumblings that the curse may be afoot when bad things happen. And that's the thing. I mean, we'll never know if it's Sataku's spirit.
We'll never know.
Bad shit's
We'll never
just
know.
happening in Japan. Who knows?
I mean, maybe he cursed me with you.
Honestly, or it could be the other way around.
No, I'm a blessing.
The latter I wouldn't doubt.
I'm a blessing.
To who?
You.
Not Hume. Hume is crazy. Hume is crazy.
Hume. It was so serious that I used the formal you.
Not the formal you.
The formal you.
That's crazy. Now, to our third and final vengeful spirit, Sugara no Mikazane. Now, Sugara was born to scholars of classical literature in 845. Even though his parents were great scholars, he would surpass them. Sugawara. I can always read it the first time, but like
never the second time.
Right, exactly. Sugawara began reading Chinese literature at age 5 and wrote his first poem at age 11. Now, I do find the poem thing a little less impressive because I feel like anyone can write a poem, whether it's good or not. that's neither here nor there.
Well, that's like anyone can sing, including you.
Exactly.
It just takes talent to sing well, which is not you.
Exactly. Now, Sugawara spent much of his childhood reading and writing because he was a fucking nerd like DJ. But by 25, he began working for the imperial court, and by 33, he had earned the highest level of scholarship. Now, that might not seem much, but it takes years and years and years, like decades even, to reach the level he reached, okay? It was actually quite impressive. Now, this was very quick for someone to ascend, and this made others jealous and unhappy. To make tensions even higher, Sugawara got very close with the emperor, and the emperor even made Sugawara's oldest daughter one of his concubines, which I guess the emperor fucking your daughter was a high honor of the day.
Yeah.
Also, one of the emperor's sons would even marry one of Sugawara's daughters. So, like, they became family, and this pissed people off. Imagine working, like, decades to try and rise the ranks, and all of a sudden this bumfuck comes out of nowhere, just writing poetry, and then all of a sudden his daughter's a concubine, his son's marrying his daughter. Like, shit, people were not happy, okay? So, the other nobility accused Sugawara of plotting to make his son-in-law emperor. And this accusation was taken so seriously that Sugawara was banished.
Oh no.
Girl, you are saying the fakest and oh no I've ever heard in my life.
Sorry, this is just like, I've heard this story before.
Yeah, a lot of it is like, yeah. But it's in a different culture, so... Growth. Now, when the emperor that Sugawara was close with caught wind of this, he was appalled and sought to speak with the current emperor. So he didn't like that Sugawara got banished. But his communications were blocked by the people who conspired against Sugawara. The retired emperor even sent a letter to the current emperor, which was intercepted and never even delivered. Sugawara was forced to live out an existence of poverty, with his writings being censored, and he was not even allowed to work to earn money for the basics. There's a tale that he yearned so much for his old life that a plum tree he had always sat under as a child and wrote his poetry uprooted itself and found its way to him.
Oh,
that is a sad
that's
story.
really cute.
Right? Poor little plum tree. Sugawara's death was slow, painful, and miserable, most likely dying of hunger because of an inability to buy food. Because remember, he wasn't even allowed to earn money. He was not allowed to work or anything. So he was basically sentenced to a slow, painful, drawn-out death. After his death, there were floods, plagues, earthquakes, and droughts. Oh my. One of the people who conspired against Sugawara was even struck by lightning. Then, noblemen and the emperor's sons started dying. And you already know, when the rich start dying, that's when it's a problem.
Somebody took notice.
Right. But the final straw was when lightning struck a building the imperial court was meeting in, killing many nobles. So, they built a shrine to Sugawara to appease him, and had him deified as God of the Heavens. Because, you know, the whole lightning thing, God of the Heavens, he'll strike you down, all that sort of thing. He is also known as the God of Scholarship, which thousands of students come to pray to Sugawara to help on exams, school, all that jazz.
You could use help with that.
I really could, honestly. People also pray to him for help dispelling false accusations, bringing forth honesty and sincerity, and surprisingly, also helping with agriculture and the performing arts.
Okay, cool.
Now, that is the story of the 3 vengeful spirits of Japan, and I think these come with a very clear message to people. Do whatever the fuck you want to people while they're alive. As long as you give them a Buddhist funeral after they're dead, you'll be fine. So do whatever the fuck you want. Just make sure they get a Buddhist funeral and you'll be fine. But actually, you don't even gotta do that. Even if you don't give them a Buddhist funeral, like even after, once they bring plague, misfortune, whatever, Just build a shrine to him later. It is what it is, and it'll be fine. Now, any thoughts? Do you have a favorite vengeful spirit of Japan?
The first one.
The first one, why?
Wait, no. Was the first one the one who...
The first one was Masakato.
Under the Treasury building, right?
Yes, he was
Yeah,
under the
yeah.
Treasury building, yes.
I just love that, like, he was, like, still, like, so pissed off 1,000 years later.
That is too, yeah, that is pretty
He can
funny.
hold a grudge, and I admire that.
I'm surprised you were, like, identifying with the last one, being a scholar, writing poetry and stuff, like the injustices and things, yeah.
A little bit, but no, I like a man who can hold a grudge.
T. No, I think...
What about you?
Well, I think if I had to do a favorite, I don't know, probably the last one. He seems like the coolest, I guess. I mean, I wouldn't do what he did and just like giving my daughter to some dude to be a concubine, because a concubine isn't even a wife, and it's kind of interesting that like having your daughter as a concubine was like seen as a status symbol of the
Yeah.
time, because essentially she's just like
No, I could see
getting
you
railed.
giving yourself as a concubine.
Oh, I mean, if they were cute, yeah, just
Paul
trying.
has no standards.
Not really, but like also like just
Paul's
like
desperate.
no, because like hanging with the girls all day and then just doing your little thing, it's like being a playgirl,
Paul's
playboy
desperate.
bunny, yeah.
The other night, he went on this terrible date. It was awful.
Okay.
He was
well,
telling me things, and I was like, girl, you had like 6 different times you could escape, and you didn't take none of them.
See, I was trying to, which I do all the time, is try to avoid arguments and confrontation. I don't really do confrontation. So I was like, let's just get through this. It was a really bad date. It really was a bad date. Now, back to the vengeful spirits, though. I think it's really interesting, like, tying misfortunes, like, how we see the Greeks and everything do, tying misfortune to, like, angry
A higher
spirits
power or
and
something,
yeah.
yeah.
And like how you were saying you've heard these stories before, how similar are these stories to other cultures and everything.
I mean, there's always he rose up too fast. He started to marry into the royal family. Everyone was afraid he was going to become king. Something bad happened. He was a vengeful spirit. It's all cultures have these stories.
Right. And I do want to like also say I did really trying to find like a haunted house in Japan, but I really couldn't find one.
And
like,
I think
even
that's
mansions.
why the first one was my favorite, was because it was like a traditional haunting with it echoed down to present day, where the stories just kind of ended with, and then they built a shrine and he was quiet.
Right. Yeah, it is very that. And I did consider doing cryptids, like, because they do have a few cryptids over in Japan, but those were like short stories, so I guess I could have done like 2 or 3
No, I kind of like
cryptids,
this
but-
because it was like very compare and contrast amongst
Yeah.
them.
And it was interesting to see like into their culture and things as well, and like especially since like we have all these things straight from Japan, it was cool to like see a little bit into their culture and things and their superstitions, and like I didn't realize like how into Buddhism they were. Whether that's true or not today, I imagine today they're probably not like, maybe not as strong Buddhists, maybe like some of the Western religions have seeped their way into Japan, but like how much in high regards they do hold Buddhism over there is interesting to see as well.
Yes, it's very interesting. It's a beautiful culture, and
Yeah.
I mean, we learned from Kitsune and now this. And I can't wait to our next venture into Japanese folklore and culture.
Exactly, and I imagine the next one will be the cryptids of Japan, which there are some interesting cryptids of Japan. But until now, stay safe from those vengeful spirits, and
Yes.
if you got a spirit harassing him, maybe some Buddhist prayers will help you out a little bit.
Build a shrine.
Build a shrine, there you go. Period.
And not to Justin Bieber. That will get you put on a watch list.
What? Did you say building a shrine will get him put on a what?
If
A
it's to
shrine
Justin Bieber.
Oh, T. Oh, quick side note on
God.
that. One time, okay, I was in 5th grade, right?
Jesus.
And I had 2 friends, a boy and a girl, right? And we were like all friends. And the boy had a crush on the girl. I'm not saying their names because this is kind of a crazy story. So the boy had a crush on the girl, and it was like always a joke in school that he was obsessed with her, right? And he would collect little things to remember her by. But then his mother found in his closet a shrine to her.
No!
And the mother let the girl's mother know, and they had to get a restraining order.
Oh my god!
Like, do I think it deserved a restraining order?
No,
No,
because it was like 5th grade.
Yeah, it was 5th, 6th grade. He might have been doing it for the bit, but that's a true story. True story.
But also the fact that he's like stealing pencils off of her desk to add to the shrine.
Right. Yeah, it was honestly kind of crazy. He was a weird kid. Now, did he grow up to be kind of hot? Yes. But is he straight? Yes. And if you're watching this for some God knows why reason,
if you're bi, shoot your shot.
Oh my gosh, yeah. If you're watching this for some reason, sorry I told your story, but also
And
you're
if you're
welcome.
bi-
I didn't say your name.
And if you're bi now, shoot your shot. Paul's listening.
Right.
That sake really hit me.
I know. It is good sake.
I took like 2 sips and I'm like feeling it.
It's strong. If it did come from that lady on that street, that lady on the street got us together, girl. But do you have anything to add before you take it away on this very Japanese episode of Crypts and Corks?
No, you?
Nope. Just, thank you for the gifts.
Thank you. Until next time, please let us know your thoughts down below. Please like, subscribe, and follow, and connect with us on all of our social media. Paul, where can they find you?
You can find me at my personal Instagram and TikTok at Paulember, Paulember. And as usual, it's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
And if you'd like to follow me, you can do so at TheRealDHPowers on Instagram and on TikTok. And until next time, keep your grips tight.
And your quirks loose.
Bye.
Ha ha ha! Yugi boy, you'll never defeat my blue eyes white dragon.